Well, hello guys, it's me again doing another vlog. Just went to see my parents. Needed to sort of help my dad out with his car because I've got an OBD scanner, and he wanted to read the codes. And so that cheap OBD scanner I got wasn't able to read the codes of his car, so he's going to have to sort of go to a garage for that. One of those things, I suppose. Yeah, get on with life. But anyway, it was good to see them, and now I'm on my way back home. I'm just going to whiz through Hunstanton. Look at the sea, beautiful. Now, thought I'd get along and do a vlog while I'm at it. And you can probably guess from the title, what's wrong with capitalism? I know a few people are going to sort of have a lot to say. So I'm not going to sort of criticise too much. I mean, the reason I want to talk about it is because I'm just one of a series of vlogs. Issues that can probably lead on to other vlogs and stuff. And capitalism. So a lot of people sort of say, you know, capitalism has caused so many problems. You know, you sort of the people who are people who are wealthy, people who go way ahead in life, and then others are left behind. And is it right? And you know, it's just an imperfect system. Well, why can't everybody have an equal share? Wouldn't that be better? Yeah, it would. Everybody's got an equal share, an equal pot, and that would be fantastic, you know. And could we come up with a better system than this capitalist regime where life is unfair? You know, and a lot of people sort of. I mean, about 8 years ago, I remember actually went to London and was I was visiting London, and we went to St Paul's Cathedral, and there were the tents outside the cathedral, and everybody there was complaining about capitalism. And they were making their mark. It's, you know, it was an impressive thing to see. I kind of agree that yes, capitalism causes a problem. I mean, it's an imperfect system. But I've got a big question, and the question is, well, if you remove capitalism, what are you going to replace it with? How can you make this thing any better? And you know, back in the sort of like the century before last, there was a guy called Karl Marx, and he basically tried to do just that with his ideology. And he wrote about it and everything, and it all sounded brilliant. People thought this is a brilliant idea, and it was adopted by Russia, and they got rid of the Tsar. People's Army, here we go, and formed what we known in history as the Soviet Union, or communism. Is that what you're going to replace it with? This regime called the Soviet Union murdered over what, 6 billion people in its 80-year lifespan? You know, talking of environmental disasters, yes, we're all concerned for the environment, but the Soviet Union, well, you've heard of Chernobyl, and it still is a no-go area even to this day. I can tell you something about Chernobyl. When I was doing my O-level physics, that's back in the 1990s, we got a visit around the Sizewell A plant up in Ipswich, or near Ipswich. We piled into a minibus, a couple of hours down, go and visit the place. And they do a lot of sort of testing around the area. They have little centres, and they test the wildlife, they test the plant life. A lot of the farmers' products they test to make sure that there's no radiation. And they said they've not picked up any radiation. They're so proud of the fact they haven't picked up any radiation from Sizewell A. And then they said, well, when Chernobyl went up, they picked that up. Another environmental disaster, the Aral Sea. You can Google it. Basically, it's an inland sea in the former Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union needed to produce crops and cotton and there again they drained the Aral. They had irrigation canals which drained the Aral Sea, turned a fishing community into a desert. The fishing boats just rusting away in the middle of nowhere. You know, is this such a perfect regime? And so, yeah, capitalism might not be great, but I'm afraid it's the lesser of two evils. The main problem why it's not great is not because of the regime, it's because of the condition of the human heart. I mean, if you've ever read a book called Animal Farm, and I'm talking about a book written by a man called George Orwell. He's the same guy who wrote the book 1984, and if you've heard of the term Big Brother, the reality TV show, it comes from that. Big Brother is watching, it comes from the book 1984. He wrote a book before 1984 called Animal Farm, which is about a farm who decide to kick out the farm owner and have a sort of a communist regime. Except the only problem is that and they say all animals are equal, except the pigs in the farm decide to actually take over and rule everything, and they decide to have all the privileges that they feel they deserve. So they change the rules to all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. That's kind of what happened in the communist regime. There are those people who feel they're more equal than others. I've known a few people from East Germany, a few people from Romania and Hungary and Poland, and you'll see the hurt in their eyes as they come out of the former Soviet Union. It's not a perfect regime. So nothing, you know, capitalism, yeah, it's not perfect. But what are you going to replace it with? And this is what my argument is. It's interesting, you know. You wouldn't be able to have your free rights. You know, thinking so, yes, capitalism, because, you know, the thing about capitalism, you know, yes, it strives to make profit and money, and that's how it all works. And this, you know, you may be in a sort of a job earning sort of the minimum diddly squat or not enough money. But the thing is, and it's true, you know, you legalised slavery tomorrow, about 80% of this country, 90% of this country's workforce would be made redundant. And that's what happened in, you know, capitalism is probably one of the oldest regimes. And, you know, you go back to the Roman Empire, and there again, you know, the sort of landowners were sort of laying off farmers and bringing in slaves to do exactly the same job. You know, so, like I'm saying, you know, yes, it's not perfect, and it's a good thing that slavery is actually completely abolished. I think the last country to make slavery illegal, this is quite shocking, I was reading on the net, something like 2007 was the last country made it illegal to have slaves. So it's, where it's going on, it's actually illegal. Modern day slavery is illegal, but it's, you know, overlooked in a lot of cases, like the brick kilns in Pakistan with bonded labour, where they have to produce a quota of 1,000 bricks a day. That's, you know, quite harsh. You know, we have so many freedoms in this. There's so many freedoms in this world. We're free to do what we want to do. We can protest about the problems of capitalism. If you were to do the same stunt like they did in St. Paul's Cathedral in the Soviet Union era, in Red Square in Moscow, don't expect to be alive in the morning. Don't expect I can guarantee your safety. You know, there's still countries that are under this communist regime, like North Korea and Cuba and stuff. Where are the liberties there? Not many. What I'm saying, guys, you know, yeah, you want to make this world a better place, but I don't believe it's possible. Yeah, capitalism isn't great, but what are you going to replace it with? Because people have tried in the past and they haven't been successful. Thanks, guys.